I live.
Okay, hey, what's up, guys? Marsleeve here, coming back to do another commentary, and today joining me will be Phoenix, the well-known community member. Anyway, yeah, we're going to be on the map Tiberian Rift, and up here in the left-hand side, we're going to see Technique playing as the vanilla Nod, and down to the bottom right, who do we have?
We have Senna playing as the yellow screen faction.
Yeah, he's going to be Trial 59, and he's going to be yellow. Yellow on this map, of course, blends really well in the terrain. Probably one of the reasons why Senna picked it, though not sure if that wasn't intentional or not. He's going for a Disintegrator Rush anyway, going for 5 Descents it looks like. Looking to pump more out, it seems. Descents in R12 are a little weaker, so to match the effectiveness of a Descent Rush that we had known in the past in R11, you need to build more Descents. 7 probably equates to the power level of a Disintegrator Rush in R11. So yeah, he's going to make his way towards the middle of the map. Going to kill those militants. Descents kill scouts easily.
Yeah, and he also has an NG up top. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't. Where is it? Is it a sneaky engineer?
It's on the top middle. Yeah, it's going all the way to tech space.
Well, I can't. Yeah, as I was saying, that terrain and the yellow color that he has selected gonna make it freaking impossible to see that on the minimap. Gonna clean up all these scouts. Blimey, those militants there. It looks like Technique saw this coming a mile away. I don't know if this was random v random. I think it was. These guys didn't select faction. Technique seemed to have an idea that was coming. Probably going for a Raider buggy or the engineer, the sabot. Oh, can Technic see this? Surely he can. He can't say this.
He doesn't have a turret.
Oh, he could have sold his power plant there. Wow, he's fortunate that there wasn't a harvester docking in that refinery. Otherwise, that would have been more devastating for Technic. I'm just surprised though that happened.
Yeah, but it's still an even game. Well, actually, Tech has an extra harvester while Senna has his upgrades. So
yeah, that is one thing to consider.
Who's ahead.
That is one thing to consider. Senna, while he may not be ahead economically, he does have that upgrade. So if Technique goes for a counterattack now, he will be looking good. He'll have the advanced articulator disintegrators, and in the worst case scenario versus a flame tank all in, he can go for those cultists, and they will already be upgraded with the advanced articulators. Getting his second refinery back up now. Technique will be on his 4 and 2 ratio. Do you think he's going to go for like an all in on 2 war factory, or do you think he's just going to play standard?
I think he's going to go 2 War Factory. He's also taking the blue. I don't know if you saw that. So he has 6 harvesters now, while Senna is on 4. But Senna has already expanded.
It's a bit ballsy, in my opinion, going for that blue Tiberian, because I don't think Technique had an eye in Senna's base to see if there is no further descents coming. I know if he were versus Unleashed would have more descents on the map by now. So yeah, Technique, as far as I know, didn't have eyes to see if the aggression had stopped. Going for buggies now, which is of course no surprise, because Traveler will always follow up with more descents.
Yeah, and he also sent that harvester while the descents were still alive. Like, they were still roaming around the map and he wasn't sure where they were.
Well, he is going to be stealthed, so I guess there is always that. By the way, there is a bug in this game where if you shoot a harvester in the refinery, a Nod or a mock harvester, it will actually permanently remove the stealth capability of that harvester, so that's kind of an annoying bug. You can lose many harvesters that way.
Wait, if you do what?
Yeah, if your harvester comes under fire in the refinery as Nod or Mock, your stealth permanently doesn't come back on the harvester.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy.
It is pretty crazy. Anyway, we got bikes up on the top of the map. Technique's going to find a lot of disintegrators there. He needs buggies. I'm surprised he hasn't built more buggies. Maybe Technique has had prior games versus Senna, and Senna decided to not go for mass descent. But this game, things have just gone differently. Seekers out on the field for Senna. He should be able to hold this back.
He's also transferring his harvesters really early. He's already got 4 on his expansion. He only has 3 on his old field, which I kind of like, to be honest. I like that he transferred those early.
You really think 3 harvesters on 2 refineries, though, is a good idea? I think he may have transferred a bit too many harvesters there. I think 4 would have been the ideal amount on that field. The blue Tiberium is gone.
That would have probably been ideal 4, but if he's not going to like pay attention to his harvesters, then it might have been a good idea. I don't know.
Well, anyway, there's a lot of buggies here, and those Seekers' descents are not going to be enjoying that. Really, that is the hard counter to what Senna is doing. However, the buggies have no real harass potential. He needs more bikes mixed in there. He only has 3 at the moment. Maybe it's the time to go for some gun walkers just to absorb some of that gun damage.
Yeah, that is like a ton of buggies, and it looks like Senna's actually going for Tech Center. He's not going to go for gun walkers like you recommended. So if Tech doesn't push in now, this might be a good idea. But if he does, then he probably needs the gun walkers.
Yeah, and I can probably you can probably set your watch to some Mechapedes coming out for Senna. He's absolutely going to go for Mechapedes. If he retains his Seekers alive, which he's doing now, he can also get the Shard upgrade, and I think Tech will lose his opportunity to do anything with those buggies that he has now. Those Seekers will become extremely lethal to units such as buggies with that upgrade.
Yeah, how long does that upgrade take?
I think it's 1 minute and 20 seconds.
115.
Oh yeah, almost.
115. So yeah, he's gonna have to keep those alive for 115 without his eco stalling. And it looks like he is upgrading that, which is a good idea.
Going to Tech, we can see that he doesn't have a tier 3 down. I'd suggest he gets it so he can get the Tib Core. Really, what do you do versus Mass Seeker and Mechapedes as not? I think that's really, really hard to stop. I think the only way you're going to stop that is Mass Scorpion Tank, fully upgraded. I think that's the only way, personally. Yeah,
that is for sure. And that looks like that is what he's doing by the looks of it.
Yeah, he's going to have his Dozer Blaze online in a moment. He's going for the laser capacitors, I think. He has a lot of buggies out in the field, which will also benefit from the laser capacitor upgrade. So, yeah, it would be foolish of him to upgrade anything else besides that. Blue Tiberium replenishing on this field. Neither one of these guys has had the chance to really harvest it with all this on the map, all these aggressive units. Seekers, once more, they're going to be upgraded with shards, I think. Did Senna actually bother to research it? Yes, he does. It's going to come online now for him. He's going to get some of his forces, though, trapped. Yeah, but the Mechapedes are coming in to save those Seekers. And this is looking bad for Tech.
Actually, Senna has a lot of Seekers up top. But if he wormholes, he can get a really good engagement. I don't know if he's used wormhole yet.
You mean the stasis? Oh, what do you call it? Temporal wormhole slows down enemy units.
Yeah, the temporal wormhole. Yeah.
Yeah, he could.
That'd be really good.
Oh yeah, it would be. Oh, that's a good one as well. He should get his Seekers in there though. What is he doing? Not the greatest control from Senna here.
No, it was a good wormhole, but he didn't position right, I don't think.
No, he's letting his Mechapedes getting caught out of position. He's actually choosing to fire the Scorpion tanks, not in the wormhole. These in the wormhole do have a substantially decreased rate of fire and, of course, move a lot slower. Senna could have done a better job there. He could have also mixed in some disintegrators. He had the chance to throw down a portal, get some descents out. That probably would have been even more of a hassle for Technique. That cannon fodder just didn't have anything there.
Yeah. Despite the bad engagement, he still seems to be getting the better of the trades.
I don't know how Technique's going to hold.
Just because of his army.
How's Technique going to hold versus all this? There's like 6 upgraded Seekers there. There is Mechapedes out in the field as well. Technique only has 5 Scorpion tanks to his name. How is he going to hold versus this? The Mechapedes and Seekers just going to town, killing all of these units.
I'm surprised Senna's not using any support powers. That would probably secure this game right now.
He could use the reconstruction drones. I do agree with you there. He could camp this war factory. If he'd done that, I mean, he could easily camp these 2 war factories in the top of the map. That's all he needed to do there, I think, because that's basically Technique's production. Technique does have a tier 3 down, so he can place down Obelisk. Getting a nice headshot there, by the way.
He does place down an early Obelisk, which means Senna could just move to a different side of the base. Or again, just keep camping those war factories. There's no build radius on that one war factory.
No, war factories and production structures do not grant build radius in this game. As far as I know, in Tiberium Wars, that is different. Anyway, we're going to see the harvesters getting revealed by the Seekers. Yeah, Technique's economy, he does have an expansion, but only 2 harvesters on it, so it's not as good as it looks. Senna, meanwhile, he does have a pretty healthy refinery to harvester ratio in the top. He's going for disintegrators, which is what I mentioned earlier. He probably needs to consider going for a hexapod now, maybe transition to some of the heavier tier units.
I actually like this idea from Senna, just going mobile units and abusing the fact that the tech can't really defend every side of the map.
Yeah, well,
the tech's also going.
You're probably right. In fact, what Senna could do also is he could mix in like 1 or 2 buzzers with his disintegrators, just so these Scorpion tanks can't crush them. The pathing will get in the way.
Minefield.
Oh, minefield. Oh, it gets 1 mechapede. By the way, it's easy to forget mines are there. Wow, that mechapede's still... Oh, what are you doing? He just...
Yeah, that was... Oh, wait, what the...
He just went straight into it. One of those mechapedes.
Yeah, I saw one go into it, and then the rest of them.
And then he immediately just... and then he immediately just goes straight into it. What the hell? So
how many did he lose there?
2, and one of them is badly damaged. The head, I think, can just die to a single militant squad.
I think he actually lost 3, dude.
Yeah, he lost 3. Yeah, that value. I was about to say, probably not going to work versus Mechapedes, though he does get 1. Is that worth it? Probably, because he does destroy a number of segments on the others. Segments costing $100 to replace.
Yeah. So what does Tech do here? He's contained. Senna's leeching blue. As long as Senna doesn't lose these mechas like he just did against that bind drop.
Or at least he's not doing the Unleash
position.
special, going for like Mass Venom versus Skrin in the late game. So that is not going to work.
I don't think we'll see that from Technique.
No, he needs to go for Scorpion
anytime
tanks.
soon.
Redeemer coming out now. Tech's going to have his tech destroyed. Oh, the power plants. Low on power there as well. Technique's headshots needs to be on point. He's going to lose his tech, and that Redeemer will be cancelled.
Let's see. What is Senna doing, though? He's still making mechas. He should definitely be going for like a hexapod, or even a prodigy would be super good right now, I think.
Yeah, if he gets a prodigy.
Like 1 venom.
Oh, although he did see 1 venom, so maybe it's not on the top of his mind going for those prodigies, because yeah, he will lose it to just a number of venoms. The mechapede count though is absurd. That is a lot of mechas. Does he really need to keep going for more? I think he just has a critical mass. Does Technique have anywhere near the numbers to stop that?
No, he doesn't. Senna needs to find an opening before Tech recovers.
He's getting a lot of headshots though.
Yeah, Senna's throwing away units.
Why is Senna not pushing? He only has 1 obelisk to deal with. If Technique holds this off, I'm going to be amazed. But you know what? Senna's not engaging. He's just letting Tech build up his Scorpion tank force. Now Tech has 2 ore factories. And I feel that if Senna goes in now and the headshots are on point for Technique, he's going to be sacking a lot of his mechapedes. However, he does have a lot of mechas, and those harvesters and base defenses can soak a lot of the damage there.
The micro is going to have to be good from Senna, but I think that's one of his weaknesses. As good as the player Senna is, I think micro is one of his weaknesses.
Yeah, he's somewhat of a macro player. He loves to spam units. He is that kind of guy, but even so, this engagement should go his way because he just simply has the numbers. Technique throwing down the shredder turrets, which will draw fire, and a lot of tanks getting destroyed there. Only 2 mechas going down for Senna, though I guess if Technique wasn't so far behind, that would be a decent trade. However, in this spot, every tank does count for Technique.
Senna's actually expanding towards Tech's main base now.
Is he really? Where is he going towards? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, because that is going to be replenishing right now. What do we have over here? Just a single militant, nothing really. There's no counter pressure for Technique. Technique is just trying to cling on into this game with these laser scorps. Senna, he needs to transition away from this. He's going for tripods now. Devastator warships out on the field. He does have Traveler engines by look of things, so yeah, bothering to research the upgrade. That's going to be problems for Technique. Technique seems to be stored on money. He needs to get some laser buggies out right now, otherwise he's going to be losing some of his base, but he does have tier 2 also, so he can laser fence some of his buildings, doubling the armor of those buildings.
Look at those things. They're like that fly. They literally melt structures. He's gonna get that Redeemer hub, it looks like.
Yeah, he is. But what is Senna doing with his Mecha P's? He should have engaged. To me, that many Mecha P's is impossible to micro against. You should just...
Yeah, and he has wormhole. Don't forget, he has the temporal wormhole ability. I'm sure it's off the cooldown.
You really? Let me check that right now. I'm curious. The tripods are coming in though. His wormhole is in fact down, cooled down. So you're right. Tripods faced. Where is Mecha P's? Mecha P's need to be where the tripods are. This is not well executed by Senna. Wow. If technique comes back from this, I'm gonna be freaking amazed. The tech once more gonna be in sight of these Mecha P's. Is EMP done for technique? No, it's not. I guess one of the only ways he can try and win this engagement is with EMP. But Senna has to mess up pretty hard from here if he's going to lose this amount of mechas.
Technique force firing the ground there with his scorps so that he could they could bunch up his scorpions so that they all shoot.
I'm not sure if they can stack like infantry when you force fire. I think that was just a miss micro. I'm not sure though. Maybe he knows something that I don't. One time I did kill 5 scorpion tanks with 1 scorpion tank shot, so I guess it isn't impossible for tanks to clump up like that.
I think it might be possible. You can definitely do it with like bikes and stuff. They can clump up so you can get a good decoy army.
That's true. Speaking of decoy army, he can cast it, but versus all this shard damage, he's not going to... No, it's not going to be really useful.
Yeah, Senna just needs to line up his mechas. If Senna lines up his mechas with their backs turned,
how does technique hold this off? How does he do it?
I don't know.
This looks impossible.
This shouldn't be. Oh, Redeemer. Redeemer's almost out.
Oh no, please don't lose this way, Senna. I'm imagining him now losing all of his army to a stealth Redeemer, but for goodness sake, I hope that is not the case.
He doesn't have an operations center, but I'm sure he'll rebuild it. I think that's what he's building, right? That has to be it. Huh? No, he's actually going for a shrine.
Is infantry
he's going for a shrine.
What sense does infantry make though? You're versus mass mechapede. I guess if you can try and make the mecha numbers fall and try and get some headshots on those mechas, reduce the anti-infantry capability, then maybe he can make something happen with infantry. He did sell his tech as well, so he's not going to have redemption also to use on his infantry, which does make not infantry a lot better.
Really, Senna's not like making use of his army. Like, he could have done so much more damage earlier on.
He could have. There isn't nearly enough Scorpion tanks to hold this off. In fact, the Scorpion tanks are not even going to bother to stick around. How is Technique... Oh, Mechapede's going to get flanked here. What is Senna doing? Allowing these Mechapedes to get caught out of position. And Technique, you have to give him credit. He is doing all he can in this game. But Senna, I feel... he is not making the right decisions. Mass tripod out on the field for Senna. He needs his hexapod out. That's really the only thing that he's lacking at the moment. You can go for a hexapod. Even planetary assault carriers would be okay, I guess. Devastator warships would be nice too, because there is infantry out on the field for Technique. Technique now, where are his Scorpion tanks? Scorpion tanks over here. He has a bunch of them. He's going to find some units out of position, and he will get a few tripod kills, but yeah, the tripods are coming in to reinforce. The Redeemer, though, slowly making its way towards that base. If I was Senna, I would quickly get a Mastermind out, or a Prodigy in his case, so I can quickly teleport a tripod near that Redeemer. At the very least, it would force the raise gen on the Prodigy instead of your army, because the Redeemer will do that to prevent your Prodigy from being microed.
He finally uses the temporal wormhole, but it's kind of a weird one. Actually, it might be good, but he needs to engage now. He gets raged. Yeah, it's a kind of a weird one, actually. He's going to get his Redeemer. What are you doing, Senna? Senna, you can just move into that. You have so many tripods there. Why is he afraid to engage? He could have just moved straight up to that Redeemer and EMP'd it. The rage gen he's just used the rage. Maybe he didn't catch a glimpse of that rage being used, but he can definitely go towards it now. He just needs to move in and EMP it, and he should be good to go. Meanwhile, Technique, he has literally nothing. He has an MCV and a refinery up. Senna has 2 idle harvesters there. Senna in this game, he's going to kill the Redeemer, I think. Does Technique have a tier 2 for a
cloaking field. No, he doesn't.
I don't see one. No. But something to note is Technique's actually killing Senna's main base.
Oh my god, yeah.
And he also had shadow teams as well.
Really?
Just bombing some power plants.
The Redeemer goes down. I don't think that Redeemer did enough damage, honestly, for it to pay off.
Yeah, but Senna's like sacrificed so many mechapeds and so many. He lost like 4 or 5 tripods in that middle fight.
What I don't get
reason.
is that Senna has all these tripods. He could have just gone into the base of Technique and killed all those infantry. He could have just crushed them, I reckon. He even has the tier 2 ability, the Buzzer Swarm. I don't think he has used that either. Skrin, of course, have a lot of ways to deal with infantry. They can even phase a tripod.
Yeah, and he's also had those Devastators with the upgrades, so
there isn't
they could quickly
heroic Scorpion tank also. Wow, he needs to really do some work with that though. The tripods, I feel, are getting Q moved a bit too much here. Senna needs to refrain from doing that Q move a bit. He needs to get his Prodigy out, maybe. He needs to transition to something besides tripods. Devastator warships were a good choice, honestly, though they are going to get caught out of position by the 2 buggies. One of them is heroic.
Oh no, he needs to move them.
Oh my god.
He's not paying attention.
Oh my god, look how quick those Devastator warships die to the buggies. Bloody hell, I've never known how much damage. That's the most damage I've ever seen a buggy do. 2 heroic buggies for Technique.
Yeah, but that was so unnecessary. He has his tripods. Like, he could have just moved the Devastators to his tripods at the bottom.
Yeah, the control is not on point for Senna in this game. A lot of heroic units now on the field for Technique. 2 buggies which can tank a lot of damage. Can the headshots do anything versus these mechapeds? Technique seems to be kind of distracted right now. He's sending a group of infantry to Senna's expansion. The headshots will be pretty decent and the gunwalkers will be cleaned up. The only thing that Senna has to his name is some tripods, but there is enough infantry now for Technique to hold this back, and if Senna donates these tripods, then Tech's just going to build up a few engineers and he's going to kill or capture those husks. So yeah, Senna in this game, I'm not sure how this is slipping from him, but it looks like it is at the moment.
Honestly, this is one of the worst. This is probably the worst game I've seen Senna play. Like,
yeah, I would.
If I'm being honest, this is probably the worst I've seen Senna play.
It is pretty bad. I haven't exactly seen him play this bad either. I've played a number of games versus him, and he doesn't. I mean, his micro sometimes is kind of not on the best level, but he doesn't throw games like this. There is.
He knows when to do games.
Look at those heroic units, though. Freaking hell.
Yeah, imagine cultists, dude. Imagine a couple cultists just taking those.
If he gets 2 cultists, is there a bunker on this map? No. Oh yeah, there is. So if he gets cultists and put those inside of that garrisonable structure, then he's basically gonna be protected versus the air, the venoms.
Yeah. Or I mean, you could simply just make a couple cultists and near your base so that these units can't harass like they were. They literally carved out his main and his expansion. Just a couple of scorpions and buggies.
Yeah, this is the one thing that Senna needs now. He needs to go for the cultists. Senna just doesn't have eco. He's got only 1 base now. And his last power plant in the bottom being destroyed. I don't think Senna can do anything besides cultists, like you were saying.
Yeah, but the thing is, Tech doesn't have... He hasn't had very much eco either for most of this game. He's stuck on these 2 little fields, and they're drying up.
Does he have an MCV still? Yes, he does. He could have moved that a little sooner. Though I guess he just can't believe his luck right now. I can't blame him. I suppose he thought he was dead, so that's why he's just kind of sticking around there, not doing as much as he could with that MCV.
If Senna can secure one of those Tiberium fields and get like a couple cultists. Actually, I don't know. Tech's army is pretty big now.
Yeah, the drone ship will be destroyed. I think that is pretty much game. Yeah, GG. Senna going down in that game, surprisingly. He went for a load of mechapeds. Why didn't he just push with his mechapeds, though? He had like 20 of them.
Yeah, and he had that wormhole ability.
And not only that, but he had the 5... He had like 6 tripods to accompany the mechapeds. He could have just gone in as one big force, not give a fuck about the rage, and killed Technique.
Yeah.
I mean, the Rage even would have done nothing. I mean, it would have done a lot, but if you have an army
Dude, he
that
had
big,
so much.
it's not gonna matter.
Yeah.
Look at the resource difference though in that game. Like, how much more is in favor of technique? Like 40,000. It's a pretty sizable advantage.
Oh wow. You mean Senna? Senna had the eco advantage.
Yeah. So yeah, wow, Senna going down in that game. Was it epic? You know what? I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to say that it really wasn't. But each to their own, I guess.
It's titled Game of the Year for some.
I think I will also say that it was not the Game of the Year. Also, so
I think it was a really good start from Senna and like really good pressure and map control, but after that he just threw away his units. He didn't make the right decisions. Like, he had so many chances to make a right decision, but he just didn't. I think this is one of the worst games I've seen Senna play. He had so many options to win that game, but he made like the worst possible decisions, the worst engagements. I don't know.
The engagements were pretty horrend, that is for sure. And with all that said, I hope you all enjoyed this dual cast, and if you liked it, then we can do more maybe. Go over these games in a more analytical fashion rather than just saying that everything's epic and this is amazing. And I'd rather tell the truth and say the game how it is, and this game, honestly, not worthy of the hype. So yeah, that is me done for today. Yeah. Do you have anything else to add?
Not really. I think this is one of the worst games Senna has played.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
that's the summary.
Like yeah, good defense from Tech other than that, I guess.
Alright then, so yeah, this is Master Leaf. See ya. Peace out.